Let's say your rent, insurance, bills and utilities add up to $1,200 a month. This is the bare minimum you need to get by each month, also known as your financial baseline. Once you know your baseline, subtract it from your monthly income to see how much you've got left over. Many people say your financial baseline should be under 50% of your total income, but to be completely honest with you, I think it should be closer to 25%. Now, don't treat this needs column as something you can't change, as there are things you can do to bring down the costs, but still meet all your basic needs. You might need a car, for example, but it's worth asking yourself, do you need a car that costs so much? The same goes for where you live. Some apartments can be mega expensive nowadays, especially in city locations, but this is where you need to start weighing things up. Would it be cheaper to commute each day? Probably. So consider moving somewhere that you can actually afford. I mean, if you can share a house for a year to save up some money that you can invest, which could help you buy your dream home, why wouldn't you? Look, maybe you don't want to cut back anymore, and that's completely fine, but it's worth seeing if there are some areas you can save money without impacting the quality of your life too much. If you can't reduce your bills, you're going to have to increase your income, which is completely possible by getting a promotion or starting a side hustle.